Hello my dear student. So today we are going to start new chapter, that is chapter number 7, cell structure and functions. I hope that you have gone through the videos which I have uploaded in last class. Okay, so related to that only today we are going to discuss from book, textbook. Okay, so first of all, let's see, okay, actually what is cell. Cells are called the structural unit of an organ. So it is a structural unit of an organ. Okay, so it may be compared to the bricks. So think about one wall. Okay, and think one brick of a wall. So as bricks are assembled to make a wall, so walls, you know how it has been made. So it has been made by joining of bricks, many bricks. Okay, so similarly cells are assembled to form an organism. So our body is also made up of like that only. Okay, so it is like a structure of bricks. Okay, that is cell. Okay, so now, so variation of cells. Okay, so cells will be different. Okay, different types. So now first see, all organisms, whether plant, animals or microorganisms, are made up of cells. So all organisms are made up of cells. The smallest structural and functional unit of an organism is called cell. So what is a cell? The cell is a structural and functional unit of an organism. Okay, cells of organisms show variation in terms of their numbers. So cells may vary in their number also, in shape also, and in size also. So now let us discuss one by one. Okay, so this variation in cells. Okay, so first one is variation in numbers. Okay, so means some animals may have, okay, one cell and some may have millions and billions of cells. Okay, so now let's discuss that one. So organism may be composed of one cell or many cells. Organism whose body consists of a single cell are called unicellular organisms. So an organism which has a single cell, okay, is known as unicellular organisms. So example of unicellular organisms are amoeba, paramecium, euglena and bacteria. Okay, so you need to underline these names. Okay, because you may be asked this question, name some unicellular organism, that time you have to give, okay, name of some organisms like amoeba, paramecium, euglena and bacteria. So in what will be there? Okay, so how that unicellular organisms will live or will survive, okay, with that single cell. Now see, in a unicellular organism, a single cell performs all vital activities. So only one cell will be there, so it will perform all the activities like feeding, movement, respiration and reproduction. Thus this single cell can exist independently. So with this single cell only they will perform all the activities of their body. Okay, this is related to unicellular. Now what about multicellular organisms? So in organism whose body consists of many cells are called multicellular organisms. So in multicellular organisms, similar types of cells are grouped together to perform particular functions. So means there will be a group of cells, okay, which performs a particular functions, and those cells should be similar. Okay, so thus different cells carry out different functions. So different types of cells will perform different types of functions. So most plant and animals, including human beings, are multicellular organisms. So that's why we have different types of cell in our body. That's why we are under multicellular organisms. So clear? So this is regarding the variation in number. Okay, so now variation in shape. So different cells carrying out different functions exist in different shapes. So cells, okay, will be also in different shapes. They can be disc shaped like discs, polygon, rectangular, branch or even irregular. The shape of the particular cell depends on the specific function it performs. So related to its function, so shape of the cells will also be different from each other. The example shows below illustrate this. Okay, so these are the, see, structure of the cells. Muscle cells, this helps in movement through the contraction and expansion, hence they are thin and long. Okay, this cell needs to be contract and expand, that's why they will be thin, so that, and long, so that they can easily contract and relax. Okay, now next one is nerve cells. So carry messages between the different parts of the body to the brain or the spinal cord, hence they are elongated in shape. This will be elongated, okay, long elongated, because it has to carry messages from one part of body to the other parts of the body. Then another one is skin cells. These cells cover a large area and they are flat and broad in shape. They will be large and flat and broad in shape. So these are the shapes, okay, different shapes of the cells. Now another one is variation in size. Cells may be of different size also. So most cells are microscopic and cannot be seen with naked eyes. So some cells will be very small, so that we cannot see through our naked eyes. Cell size may vary from micrometer or millionth of a meter, means 1 meter divided by million, okay, so a few centimeter, which will be very small. The smallest cells are bacteria, which generally range from size 0.1 to 0.5 micrometers. So bacterial cell are the smallest cell. The largest cell is the egg and of ostrich. So which cell is the largest cell? And cell that the largest cell is the egg of an ostrich, okay, so it is the largest cell, which is 170 millimeter in diameter. So nerve cells are believed to be the longest cell in human body, and nerve cell is the longest cell in the human body. Okay, so these are the variation in numbers, first point. Then second one is variation in shape, and third one is variation in size. Okay, so after this, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So the cells of certain organisms lack a well-defined nucleus. Okay, some of the cells will not have defined nucleus, well-defined nucleus. Instead, they contain genetic material floating in the cytoplasm. Okay, they will directly have genetic material floating in the cytoplasm. You can look at this picture. Okay, so directly that's the nuclear membrane, they are floating in the cytoplasm. Such cells that lack of well-defined nuclei surrounded by a nuclear membrane are called prokaryotic cell. Okay, prokaryotic cell. Pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. So you can check in figure 7.1a. So organisms have such cells are called prokaryotes. Example of prokaryotic are bacteria and blue-green algae. So okay, these are the examples of organism which has prokaryotic cell, that is bacteria and blue-green algae. On the other hand, cells that have well-defined nucleus are called eukaryotic cells. So look at figure 7.1b. This is well-defined nucleus. Okay, well-defined. You look at the picture. So and within that genetics material will be there. So organisms that have such type of cells are called eukaryotes. Eu means true, karyon means nucleus. The organisms apart from bacteria, blue-green algae are eukaryotic. So other than bacteria and blue-green algae are eukaryotics. Even human beings are eukaryotics. Viruses are neither eukaryotes and prokaryotes and fall in different groups. And remember about virus, okay, so they are not prokaryotic also and nor eukaryotic also. They will fall in different categories. Okay, now okay, so now Robert Hooke, let's discuss about this one. Okay, who discovered cell? Robert Hooke. In the years 1635 to 1703, an Englishman from different discovered cell in 1664 while examining a slice of cork under a microscope. Okay, Hooke observed that a slice of cork is made of tiny honeycomb-like compartments arranged on top of one of the other. Okay, so he called compartment as cell. It was much later that scientists discovered that living things are made up of cells. Today, biology studies living things based on the cell theory proposed by German scientists Matthias Slesden and Theodor Schwann. Okay, the theory states that all organisms are made up of one or more cell. Okay, cells arise from primitive existing cells, and you may be imagine how that irrespective number of cells and organisms made up of cell theory applies to every organisms in the world. So at first, who discovered cell? Then Robert Hooke. Okay, he was okay observing that cell under a microscope. Okay, after well observing, he found that these corks are made up of comb-like structure. Okay, like honeycomb, and he gives this each apartment as one chamber that is called a cell. So from that, okay, this word cell has been originated. Okay, then afterwards, nowadays, whenever we are going to learn about living organism, we should know cell is a structural and functional unit of the cell. Structure of the organism. Okay, so now look at this activity. To observe the structure of a single cell hen's egg. So a hen's egg, a plate. So what we need? A hen's egg, a plate. So crack the shell and break up the egg onto a plate. The egg has a yellow part and transparent part surrounded it. Transparent part called albumin is jelly-like and represents the cell cytoplasm, while the yellow part, that is yolk, is thicker and represents cell nucleus. So think about that, white part is like cytoplasm and that yellow part is nucleus. So on the internal side of the cell can be seen thin membrane-like structure which represents the cell membrane. Okay, so on the internal side of the cell, okay, since this membrane are structure which represent the cell membrane. So this is called cell membrane. So you have to imagine like cell like an egg. Okay, now we can see cells under microscope. Okay, we know that we have microscope in our school also. Okay, if we'll get time then we'll see this. Clear? So and I think that some of you have seen also, okay, while doing classes. Now let's see preparing a slide to view cells. So most cells are viewed with the help of compound microscope. We have to view a specimen under a microscope. It has been first placed a glass slide. First we need glass slide. Preparing a specimen on a slide is called mounting. Then you have to mount this one. This is called mounting. Two types of mounts are generally prepared in laboratory: dry mount and wet mount. A dry mount is generally used for viewing inanimate objects. Okay, as the term suggests, dry mount does not require water. So here we no need to put water. Okay, these are actually non-living. Okay, not which are not alive. Wet mounts are generally prepared using water or glycerin and are used for viewing living species such as organisms and cells. So to see living cells or organisms, we need wet mounts. In a wet mount, a small piece of specimen is placed at the center of the slide with 1 or 2 drops of water. The specimen then covered with a cover slip and viewed under a microscope. As we know that you can see onion cells also, which we have done in our school. Okay, so in case of permanent slide, that is slide that need to be prepared for later use, materials other than water needed to be used as the specimen has to be preserved for a long duration. So if you have to make permanent slide, then we should not use water. Okay, so other than water, other liquids we have to use. The specimen to be viewed under a microscope is often stained. So we need to stain it, means color it by using dye. So staining highlights biological tissues and specific region in the cells, which makes it easier for us to view the details. Okay, so look at figure 7.2. okay, you will see like that. Okay, structure of cells. So some of the commonly used stain dyes are iodine solution, saffronin, methylene blue and crystal violet. Okay, these are the staining materials. Okay, you can use saffronin also, methylene blue also, crystal violet and iodine solution also. Okay, so while preparing this slide. Okay, so with this, okay, so up to this we'll do today. So and in next class we are going to learn about structure of a cell. Okay, so before that you should know, okay, some points related to the different parts of the cell. That's why I have uploaded one video. Okay, so please try to go through it. Okay, so we will continue in our next class, that is structure of a cell. Okay, so this much for today. Okay, bye bye, take care.
Cells are the smallest living units of an organism. All cells have 3 things in common, no matter what type of cell they are. All cells have a cell membrane, which separates the inside of the cell from its environment, cytoplasm, which is a jelly-like fluid, and DNA, which is the cell's genetic material. There are 2 broad categories of cells. The first category is eukaryotic cells. They have organelles, which include the nucleus and other special parts. Eukaryotic cells are more advanced, complex cells, such as those found in plants and animals. The second category is prokaryotic cells. They don't have a nucleus or membrane-enclosed organelles. They do have genetic material, but it's not contained within a nucleus. Prokaryotic cells are always one-celled or unicellular organisms, such as bacteria. So, what are organelles? Organelle means little organ. Organelles are the specialized parts of a cell that have unique jobs to perform. Let's start with the nucleus, the control center of the cell. The nucleus contains DNA, or genetic material. DNA dictates what the cell is going to do and how it's going to do it. Chromatin is the tangled, spread-out form of DNA found inside the nuclear membrane. When a cell is ready to divide, DNA condenses into structures known as chromosomes. The nucleus also contains a nucleolus, which is a structure where ribosomes are made. After ribosomes leave the nucleus, they will have the important job of synthesizing or making proteins. Outside the nucleus, the ribosomes and the rest of the organelles float around in cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like substance. Ribosomes may wander freely within the cytoplasm or attach to the endoplasmic reticulum, sometimes abbreviated as ER. There are two types of ER. Rough ER has ribosomes attached to it, and smooth ER doesn't have ribosomes attached to it. The endoplasmic reticulum is a membrane-enclosed passageway for transporting materials, such as the proteins synthesized by ribosomes. Proteins and other materials emerge from the endoplasmic reticulum in small vesicles, where the Golgi apparatus, sometimes called the Golgi body, receives them. As proteins move through the Golgi body, they're customized into forms that the cell can use. The Golgi body does this by folding the proteins into usable shapes, or adding other materials onto them, such as lipids or carbohydrates. Vacuoles are sac-like structures that store different materials. Here, in this plant cell, the central vacuole stores water. Going back to the animal cell, you will see an organelle called a lysosome. Lysosomes are the garbage collectors that take in damaged or worn-out cell parts. They are filled with enzymes that break down this cellular debris. The mitochondrion is an organelle that is the powerhouse for both animal and plant cells. During a process called cellular respiration, the mitochondria make ATP molecules that provide the energy for all of the cell's activities. Cells that need more energy have more mitochondria. Meanwhile, the cell maintains its shape through a cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton includes the thread-like microfilaments, which are made of protein, and microtubules, which are thin, hollow tubes. Some organisms, such as plants, that are photoautotrophic, meaning they capture sunlight for energy, have cells with an organelle called a chloroplast. The chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens. It's green because it has a green pigment called chlorophyll. Plant cells also have a cell wall outside of their cell membranes that shape, support, and protect the plant cell. Animal cells never have a cell wall. There are many other unique structures that only some cells have. Here are just a few. In humans, for example, the respiratory tract is lined with cells that have cilia. These are microscopic hair-like projections that can move in waves. This feature helps trap inhaled particles in the air and expels them when you cough. Another unique feature in some cells is flagella. Some bacteria have flagella. A flagellum is like a little tail that can help a cell move or propel itself. The only human cell that has a flagellum is a sperm cell. In summary, remember, eukaryotic cells are plant and animal cells with a nucleus and membrane-enclosed organelles, while prokaryotic cells are unicellular organisms without these things. All cells have a cell membrane, cytoplasm, and genetic material. And even though only plant cells have chloroplasts, both plant and animal cells have mitochondria.